My name is Alan Abel. I have been farming for 33 years now. I started off with 23 cows. Right now we're farming 3,000 acres. We raise all of our crops here. We have close to 1,500 cows. We also have about half of our heifers here. The other half are custom out, and they come back when they're ready to freshen. I have 25 employees here. We milk 3 times a day, basically 22 hours a day, and the rest of the time is for cleanup. When we built our first barn, it was a pole barn, and we were at 600 cows at that point. And in the year 2000, we decided it was time to expand again. We doubled, a little more than doubled the herd. We put up a couple coverall buildings. We chose these coverall barns because the air is so good in them. The light is very nice. You go into this barn and then you go into the pole barn that I built in '96, and there's such a difference that the employees like to work in this barn so much better. We put the fresh cows go into this coverall barn that I'm standing in right now, and they stay in here for close to 180 days of their lactation, and then they move to our pole barn. And when they do move, they generally drop 8 to 10 pounds. And the only reason we can figure out the feed is the same. It's got to be the environment in that barn is not as good as the one in here. The cows in this on this whole farm average right around 28,000 pounds of milk. So I think if we didn't take that drop at 180 days when we move them into the other barn, we could probably get this herd over 30,000 pounds pretty easy. The building I'm standing in here right now is 140 foot wide, and it's 460 foot long. It's got curtain sidewalls, so we can open this building up in the summertime and have the nicest ventilation you've ever seen, or close it up and it's just as calm as can be in the wintertime when there's a strong wind outside. As you can see in this barn, we have 4 rows of fans. They're spaced 30 feet apart. They're 36-inch fans. And then we have a line of sprinklers down both feed alleys. Now the question might be, if the ventilation in here is so great, why do you need fans? Well, you get 95-degree weather and the air doesn't move, you still need the fans, and they'll pay for themselves very quickly. The fans also aid in any fly control problems, because you won't have flies if you have more than 2-mile-an-hour wind in the barn. My other coverall barn is also 140 foot wide, and it's 380 foot long. On that barn, we have an alleyway all the way around the barn, so we can move the 12 groups of cows that are in there, move one group or a couple cows anywhere we want. It's very easy to work with the cows there.
I'm Steve Abel, Operations Manager at Abel Dairy Farms LLC in Eden, Wisconsin. I'm standing in our drover lane in our special needs barn. Our drover lane is approximately 9 feet wide. It runs around the entire circumference of the barn. It allows us to take cows from any pen, sort them out of a gate, and walk them down the lane and move them to any other pen. All the gates and all the fencing in this barn is all fiberglass. It allows, they're a little more durable than steel, and a little more user-friendly as far as being able to move things around and change things once it's in place. Our special needs barn is a little unique in the fact that we have 9 groups in it. All of our dry cows are in here, our pre-fresh cows, our treated cows, and they're all segregated. When we were designing this barn, a lot of the special needs barns we looked at did not have a nice way of moving cows. They were great freestall barns, but we needed a way to take an individual cow, separate that cow, and treat that cow without interrupting the cow flow and the habits of the other cows. So we put this drover lane in. It allows us to take any cow from anywhere and move it anywhere without disrupting the rest of the cattle.
Over the last few years, we've probably had maybe 2 tours a month that come through here. A lot of times dairymen will stop in and they want to look at these barns. They're about ready to start building and they want to know why we built these. And I generally don't have to tell them too much. They'll walk in here and their mouths will open up a little bit and what they'll generally say is something like, wow. This structure is built extremely strong, and dairymen will see right away that the air quality is far superior to any building that they've ever been in. And the other thing they'll notice is how bright it is in here. Today is a completely overcast day. This is much lighter than you'll ever see on the sunniest day in my pole barn. Generally what I like to do is when a dairyman comes around here, I like to bring him in this barn and show him around. And then I always make sure I take him over by the pole barn, and it immediately hits them right between the eyes what a difference there is in the building. And that seems to really make an impression on the guys that come around here once they see the other barn compared to this one. So I don't have to do too much selling of it. It sells itself. We've had good hailstorms here where it will dent your metal buildings and stuff. The hail will just bounce off this fabric, leaving no damage. Snow was a concern when we bought this thing, but when you get a foot of snow, the first little breeze and the canvas moves a little bit and that snow just slides right off. It'll sit on my steel roofs around here for a few days, but it just doesn't stay on these buildings at all. And talk about temperature in my steel pole building, the inside temperature is generally about 5 degrees warmer than the outside. On these buildings here, it's 2 to 3 degrees warmer than it is outside during the winter. So it might be 2 degrees colder, but it's basically not much. These buildings are standing up very well, and the cows seem to like it in here. And the reason I say they like it is because they produce more milk in this barn than we do in our pole barns. It's a matter of economics.